things off screen, to getting all the secret reports. I also have the ultimate weapon. But I don't see anything else much to do with proud mode, so I'm gonna probably move on to critical mode. Either way, I'm probably gonna read all the secret reports or really show them all off. Okay. Recollections. Am I alive? I awoke in a cell alone, and the researchers came with their tests and their probing to uncover my identity. I had to answer them. I had to offer them. I had no answer to offer them. 4 friends and a key. That is the sum total of my memory. I have not even recalled my name. I was simply called X. Oh, I must be talking about Subject X. There, my X there. My only solace was the time I spent talking with the 2 boys who would visit me from time to time. One day, a man came to take me from the prison. I could not see him of the darkness, save that he wore an eye patch. Even now, years on, I feel no closer to understanding who or what I am. May my heart be my guiding key. Unknown. The Mark of Mastery's journal. Some days has passed since I set off to my journey to prepare for the Mark of Mastery exam. I request and ask for leave to undertake the same pilgrimage, but apparently I am to be the first to tour the worlds within of the old fairy tales. Until a short few years ago, I've known only my own world, a speck of land surrounded by sea. But how I dreamed of, yearned for the world beyond, and guaranteed guidance for the future. I left that nest behind as I treaded the path to my master's side. I came in contact with darkness in several forms. I knew even then by instinct. Terrified as the power was, it could be harnessed. It could be harnessed, mastered. Iroquois is a blue blood descended from the very first masters in the age of fairy tales. But I did not come for this far to indulge in whatever that word says. I will be his peer, his equal. And to do that, I must learn to wield the power born from both darkness and light in proper balance. Report free experiments of the heart. Notes on Subject X, Expert 1. Subject was found in the Central Square shortly after dawn. Female, approximately 15 years old. After the days of observation, she spoke her first words but could not provide a name. Subject, it exhibits signs of profound amnesia and displays of concern in which world this is. Her words suggest that that she departed her home world with others, though she cannot recall the names of of your erstwhile companions. All efforts to explore these memories have met with a rejection response. After his initial experiments on me, Ansem the Wiser wastes the research into the heart, his hands swayed by some fear I cannot fathom. Yet the new subject is, like me, devoid of memories. She is the perfect sample upon which to continue my master's work. She too could benefit from it. By traversing the heart, we have a direct path into memory. I myself have begun to reclaim my lost past thanks to these very experiments. Who is she? Whence where she came? These are the questions no scientist can ignore. As the world she muttered, and the words she muttered, may your heart be your guiding key, Xehanort. Experiments of the heart, notes of subject X. Expert 2. Subject's memories have not returned, and our conversation remains less than lucid. Or liquid? Whatever. That what fragments can be glared, evoke, and be gone, world. Like one out of the fairy tales, as important as it seems, the question may not be where she has come from, but when. If she truly crossed through time, a prospect of foreboding her heart, it is all more compelling. My plot studies have a handful of subjects, but none possess the fortitude to endure them. Ultimately, they all suffered by mental collapse. I knew it would be a heavy blow to lose a subject as unique as she. I'm guessing this is Scald. Upon discovering the tests I've conducting my masters demanded that I cease my work immediately and destroy what research I have compiled. Worse still, he ordered the release of my main subject. She is gone. Where is subject X now? Has wise Master Ansem forbidding her away? Whatever the case, I will not be deterred. I will take her place as the first subject in my grand experiments to come. Xehanort. It seems like to me either the only girl I believe in the new Foretellers is actually Scald. Yeah, all the others are boys, so it has to be Scald. But is it Ava though? Ava appeared in the battle, but she was not there though to travel in the time that's there, so either something happened to her and she did it herself, or it could be that they're implied that Eraqus is the descendant of Ava by the special blood, which is blue blood. That's probably one of her special gifts. Well, let's continue on. Memorials. Expert 1. The castle was a wonderland for us children. Within its walls, Absalom the Wise conducted his research, and the fruits it bore allowed everyone outside to live in peace and happiness. That alone was enough to strike our interest, though not all the rumors that escaped its walls were so malevolent. By night, the muffled sounds of human wails emerged. Holy shit. There was a talk of dangerous human experimentation. Lee and I could not help but hatch a plot to steal inside and sate our curiosity. The two who stood guard as the gates were researchers themselves, though you wouldn't think it to see them massive and barrel-chested as they were, and slipping past that duo was only the first hurdle. It proved one not easily cleared. We were found and tossed out on our ears time and again. On that day, we finally secured our entry. We descended in a long spiral chair at the heart of the castle to find a dark space below it. Linked with cages, there wasn't any light enough to see if they were inhabited, and we were in no position to call out any occupants within. Yet we could feel it, the divine presence there in the black. Terror washed over us. And we immediately regretted coming. But just as we turned to flee, we heard the faintest of voices. The urge to run was nigh overpowering, but someone or something beckoned us on. There, framed by a tenacious silver of light, we found her, Sayax. Glowing with the silver of light. Expert 2. It was too dim to make out her features. We spoke to her in hushed whispers. Who was she? Why was she imprisoned here? She has no answers for us. She had no memories at all. She was an enigma, but I knew I wanted to help her. And so we continued our infiltrations. Most of them stopped shortly at the castle gates. But when we did manage to get away inside, we spoke to her. That was all the comfort two children like us could offer. But Lee had other ideas. He was determined to free her. We slipped into the castle that day, knowing that we wanted with all our hearts to save her. But we did not find her inside on that day, or the next, or any other of the subsequent visits. Has she been moved? Has we simply imagined her? Lee and I knew there was only one way to be certain. And so we stand before the castle gates today, not as trespassing children, but in order to become Absalom the Wise newest apprentices. Sayax. Oh. Secret of a Part 7. on the replica program and reanimation. Following my exposure of my recompletion as a human, I did not awaken right away. Perhaps the damage was exceptionally grave. Even after waking, I remained in bed, pondering my next course of action. Oh yeah, it's probably, I wonder if it's just, if he wasn't awoken right away, I'm only guessing is because of the wounds Axel had done, because he did got burned to death. In my work on the replica program for the organization, I produced some 20 vessels. Most of the early results were failures. Not one of them guaranteed a member. The first success emerged from that early lot that was Riku Replica. Subsequently, Shion number 1 was essentially indistinguishable from a natural human, though she had become unstable due to the influence of others. Oh, that's probably why she found it hard to, why she had that little fucking moment in the Keeplake graveyard where her hands were all, looked like she was like going kinda crazy. Probably because the influence of others probably made her unstable, and she was probably changing back to her pretty much original form, the form that Roxas saw her as, I guess. Using those two as my foundation, I worked to construct a number of high, perfect replicas. But just as they neared completion, my efforts were cut short. I suspect Xehanort aims to use both the initial lot as well as the unused replicas from my later work. I arose today and decided to walk out to the square, my first outing in some time, yet my stroll was interrupted by a surprising visitor appeared from an unexpected offer. Though younger than me, he'd risen to become Xemnas' right hand. I accepted his terms and became a nobody once more. Easier to gain access to my old replica program that way. Whatever it takes to atone. Vex. The real organization, Sigma Report 8. Xehanort seeks to gather 12 vessels in which, together with his true actual self, he considers the real organization 13. Now that he has the numbers he needs, Demyx and I are being treated as reserves. Several others have served Xemnas in the old organization, have followed the same course as mine, electing to abandon their newly restored humanity and rejoin the real organization as nobodies. But not Xemnas. Xemnas cannot exist in the present, because there is already a Xehanort here. The old man in charge, the old man's humanity, preserves his heartless and nobody. Others vanquished in the past and his younger self have been denizens of this time. To circumvent this, Xehanort is using the prototype replicas I have created in the past as containers, plucking his other selves' hearts from the time they existed. Zeno ordered me to refine the prototypes to make them closer to the real thing, perfecting my creations so they may house true flesh and blood humans suits my own purposes as well. All that remains for my atonement is to devise a way to pass on as many vessels as I can to those who truly deserve them. Vexen. So I'm guessing each ones that we used were prototypes and they ended up getting dismantled later to create the new ones that he created. Yeah, Demix is basically saying Secret Report 9, Ansem's Code, Conceptuous, Excerpt 1. I have poured the data my master entrusted to Riku. Here I offer my preliminary conclusions. Within Sora's heart there's 3 conceptual boxes. Each containing the heart of another. One box holds Roxas, another holds a second heart that has been born with Sora, been with Sora nearly as long, which is Ventus. The third has held its heart for much longer. These hearts have melded with Sora's and no longer have voices of their own. I'm wondering if the third held on that much longer. Is it Nephimera? Because you see Nephimera in the Keyblade Graveyard. And I don't think its spirit lingers in the Keyblade Graveyard. What if Nephimera's heart is inside Sora for some reason? And that's how Sora was able to get in contact with Nephimera to get help. That's just speculation though. It seems to be pointing that way. Anyway, any attempt to mechanically extract them could prove as dire for Sora as what caused him to become a Heartless in the first place. Yeah, that was. Yeah. First vessel for which each heart must be readicated. Then a spark of some which is required to induce its waking. Obviously, the ideal solution is to resolve each heart to its own body, but whatever the case, for the 2 unknown individuals, Roxas comes back, and I believe, and Ventus comes back. So the third person should still be in Sora. And I know it's not Shion. A lot of people probably think the third one was probably Shion, but it can't be the case. The Shion was an organization member. And Shion's back in the thing, like they saved Shion. And basically prevented her, and she switched sides and became a Guardian of Light. So I'm thinking the third heart might be Nephimera, and that might be the premise for the next thing of Kingdom Hearts. Trying to find Sora to try to get him back to the world that they are to provide a replica to get the third heart out. Because the antagonists might end up being the foretellers. Well, it pretty much is the foretellers of this way. Because of the simple, it's obviously the foretellers. Either way, Vox's business, no such thing. The same is true for Naminé, who we believe resides in Kairi's heart. Still in altitude bodies can be secured from them. All their hearts required to be awakened is that spark. People that cared for and who cared for them, who show them the way home. I'm starting to think the Ventus, Brain, Skald, I don't see any way to them going to the future unless something dramatic happens that they end up finding out. Because in the Union Cross, it seems like Brain doesn't want to follow the original Master's teachings, and so does Nephimera wants to question. He says we have to do it, but at the same time he questions, like, is this really what we should do? So like the newer ones are probably more set up to incline to help Sora and do more things individually than other than doing just because the Master tells them to. Well, the foretellers literally did all that and they got really fucked up. Where was I? First the virtual heart must be eradicated and then expected. Okay, I'm way home, okay. Complete the perfect diagnosis of the heart is impossible. We can only hope to partly reconstruct it. Thus, I see no way forward but to extract the hearts we so desperately needed directly from within Sora. Fortunately, the data stored in Twilight Town contains a near-perfect record of the memories of those who live there, and of Roxas and Naminé. Especially, this is crucial. Ienzo. Oh, Ienzo was... That makes sense. He was looking into... He was the one that was looking into it. Into Sora's other things. Unless our next game proves a character that's probably more connected with the newer ones and ends up getting the heart inside Sora, if they're gonna make a next protagonist, which there's gonna be new characters, I know that for a fact. In the next Kingdom Hearts, unless they do the next Kingdom Hearts with Sora. But the next one's not going to be a Nebula title. So either... Well, I know it's either going to be Sora. At this point, I'm leaning towards Kairi. Kairi is like probably the perfect candidate to actually go and try. But at the same time, the secret episode I think probably implies that Riku went after to look for Sora. Probably because what's in the third third heart that's inside the third heart that was inside Sora. What I'm guessing is I'm guessing on this. The third heart is Nephimera, who due to seeing, because there's Keyblade War, the aftermath was everywhere, which is probably why it caused a spark. Because it was going to be another Keyblade War on there, which kinda happened, but yet also prevented all the other Keyblades from all the wielders from all the other worlds to come travel to that one. Because there's more Keyblade wielders than just them on the thing. It's just, now I believe it's more disconnected. Like, they're not, like Master Yen said, had connections with Ericus, and probably in the past Xehanort as well. But I believe it was said in other Kingdom Hearts games that there's other Keyblade wielders, mainly off in other worlds, keeping the balance of other set worlds. So I'm pretty sure it's the whole in the universe. There's more than just those ones, but they're probably so far spread out that it's probably not a thing. Either way though, and because of, and I'm guessing, I don't know all the, we don't know all the details on why they travel thing, but say something happened to Nephimera again. Say Nephimera, something happened, and it flung them into the future, and he lost his heart. Or, and then it flew inside Sora somehow, some way. And then the other three, seeing that there's some kind of threat, went to the thing, because they're in the Union class right now. They're trapped in the digital thing because it doesn't yet exist. Because it doesn't yet exist anymore. So meaning, maybe when Mickey was doing the data surge on the journals, a path. No, that can't be right. Either way, the dandelions are stuck in the digital thing, probably years in the past, and it wasn't created, an exit wasn't created yet. Probably meaning they sent, Alva actually ended up getting all those things, and when they traveled to different worlds, it might have been different, maybe it was different timelines, and that fucked up the thing to make it that if it doesn't exist right now, or some force took them when they went to the digital thing, took them back in time, and now they're stuck there until something happens, because Daybreak Town wasn't in the version of Daybreak Town, it was all glitching out, and it wasn't supposed to glitch out, which means they're also in the data, trapped in the data thing. And either way, they probably, maybe the only way they're able to do it is actually go forward in time. Maybe that's the only way for them to actually escape it. And then that's how they all ended up certain things. Either way, something traumatic happened. Probably either when they were traveling to the point, to the area where Sora is, or something happened a little bit before them to cause all this. And they ended up appearing in different points of time. Because in the Birth by Sleep Secret reports, Xehanort found Ventus before he ended up becoming an apprentice to Xehanort. So maybe Ventus was the first one to arrive there. Brain is a mystery, I don't know where he is. I'm guessing he either traveled there or was the cause to have the other free travel. If I'm guessing Nomura is inside Sora's heart. Maybe Nomura, I mean Nephimera. Whoops. I mean Nephimera. Maybe maybe a brain was the cause to send them into the future, while brain stayed there to make sure everything was stable, and something happened, which could also be plausible. Another thing that I'm thinking of, because they all appear to different things, but my question is, it might be implied that Nephemera is inside Sora, which is the third heart. So I'm guessing he probably came right when Sora was either probably was super small or was just born. Or when Sora was so small that he was singing and ended up going thing. Which could answer the question of why Sora can still use the Keyblade after he gave Ventus his heart back. Unless well, it's very complicated. But the thing with that is that the Keyblades chose him, Sora, so I don't think that's plausible. I think the Keyblade genuinely wants Sora. That Keyblade that he has genuinely wants Sora to be his master. And then so maybe in the future title, Brain will appear. Because if I'm thinking of it right, Nephemera could be inside Sora, Skull is Subject X, Ventus has amnesia and found by Xehanort and got his stuff extracted. Now he's probably whole again. And he found his Charity, which means Ventus might end up having a role in the next saga after all, after finding his Charity. He could eventually awaken his memories that he totally forgot. I don't know if Aqua and Terra will be there. They might want to, or they might let Ventus go off do his own adventure. Sora, I think, is somewhere else, and Riku is probably going in to save Sora to get the third heart. At least I hope, and to get him back. Get him back to like his home and stuff. Obviously, and then because even though the secret ending doesn't really, there's that stage, like just a little teaser of something that not really very fleshed out yet, but I'm pretty sure it's leaning towards that way. Skald got taken by Lushu, which was Xigbar. What I'm wondering is if Xigbar was always Lushu, because he kept passing through different semblances. So maybe once they get old enough, Lushu, or when his special gets old enough, he found another thing. Or maybe there's a cult. Lushu had made some kind of cult that would allow him to do so, though it's possible. It's Kingdom Hearts, it's probably possible. Yeah, so Subject X, there's a mystery too. She's somewhere there, but I'm guessing Lushu had plans with her, or took her and hid her away somewhere. Unless the box too. This probably ties into the box, which I'm guessing might be another one. Maybe it's the world line where the Master of Masters are. Maybe that box, because it will never be open, he said don't ever open the box. Maybe the box can be like portals to other dimensions. I think. I'm getting way too into this. Let's keep going. highly doubt. I highly doubt that, but I'm starting to get way too into it, so I'm probably grabbing the straws now. Let's continue. Though it's very interesting, all these reports. Expert 2, as far how to contain their hearts, the only concurrent option is the replicas. If we transfer the digital memories from the Twilight Town archive, the replicas should be able to reconstruct each individual's human appearance and near perfect results. Then their hearts need only the right spark to wake them, so they find their way out of Sora and Kairi and into the newly made bodies. Probably by Roxas and Kairi for nominee. Though I'm wondering though, maybe Kairi holds Ava. So I don't see Ava wanting to do what the Master than Lucio is. Because Ava's a fundamentally good character. She even questions the Master too, and recruited people to go a new line for what she's not willing to really do is to ask the questions. Which brings back to the case of Celestial dying and someone taking the book. Maybe that was Lucio. Now that I think about it, it might be Lucio, because he's the only one that did not have a Book of Prophecies. Each one was given a copy of a Book of Prophecies. No, only one has gotten a copy of the Book of Prophecies. Although, because they each got a book where all the rules are and stuff. Only one that was circled was given the Book of Prophecies. Well, maybe Lucio struck down Celicia, who probably was the one that was circled, to give him the Book of Prophecies, and which he took it. And now he's starting his own plans, which is ultimately would be the Master of Masters. Unless Master of Masters is good. But I'm pretty sure most people see him as a bad guy, so pretty sure Noir might end up writing him as a bad guy. Because the Master of Masters is there's a huge mystery on his actual stance. At first he does things that are questionable, such as inciting the war that pretty much boomed all this to happen. And then Lucio, there's something about his role that was not mentioned. I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but this all seems very connecting the dots for me. The replica program was truly revolutionary, but it was incomplete at the time of the old organization's dissolution. Without Evan, how are we to further the research? Well, we need at least 3 replicas. 1 for Roxas, 1 for Nominate, and 1 for the unknown stairway from Sora's heart. Yeah, so I'm guessing they do have a replica for that unknown, which is probably Nephimera. And that's why Riku dived in to end it. One of the reasons why Riku went after Sora. Because the Power Awaken is meant to not, I believe not to guide world from hearts or something, or to open as a thing, maybe, because maybe if Sora is in a different place that they can't get to, the Power Awaken would, if used correctly, would at least make it possible to go to whatever thing that there are. In these difficult quandaries, but as I walk through my master's data, I find myself remembering the taste of ice cream. When I was a boy, he would bring me some when we took walks together. There will be time to regret my betrayal later. For now, my focus must be restoring Roxas and Nominee, proving my master had good intentions. Yeah, I'm nearly sure that it's probably Nephimera in there due to the information that's gathering the things, and then the connection between the Keyblade graveyard and Nephimera talked to Sora saying if you needed help. That came out of nowhere. But with these secret reports, it could very well be Nephimera, the unknown entity. Which brings back to the cutscene that there's a third person. I mean, there's a lot of people that's probably confused, but I am pretty sure this is probably Nephimera inside Sora's heart. It's the only thing that would make sense to me, given the information we have. Then it will make sense why Nephimera offered help to him in the graveyard if Sora was never connected to him or never talked to him whatsoever. However, if Nephimera's heart is inside Sora, then that means there's a connection that opens Sora into helping, into basically more allies for him. Port 11. Circuit Port 11. Observations. Expert 1. I have seen it through. The Keyblade War unfolded exactly what's on the last page. Now the Keyblade the Master entrusted to me must be bequeathed to another. 5 unions have been chosen from the surviving dandelions. Yeah. This will. Fuck. I will pass the Keyblade from one to one of them, and then continue watching the future unfold. Yet it seems someone has pulled this old switcheroo. Someone pulled the old switcheroo. One of the 5 is an imposter. Someone the Master did not choose. They represent a virus in the program. So he carefully wrote. Brain? Is Brain the traitor? I'm wondering if he bequeaths... If Lucio bequeaths it to the traitor. Now, the virus has begun a strange undertaking, a reckless plot to allow the Five to escape in another world line. Surely a thing cannot be possible. Oh man. Maybe Brain was the one that didn't choose, actually would influence them, and then like exposing the bad parts of the Master's stuff, and since they all question, convinces them to go to the other world line, which had consequence. That's probably what Sora is. He's probably in another world line, probably either another dimension. We know that another world line probably would be possible if the power awakened, I'm pretty sure. If that's even the case, I'm pretty sure it might be. If that's the case, Brain might be the one that detaches them and convinces them to do their own thing, apart from the Master's plan. The Master's plan. So I'm guessing Brain is the one who kills Starlitzia. Or... yeah. Which is very ironic, because one of my cousin, his thing on there is Virus. His fucking Eden Crossing. It's only called Virus, so it's kind of messed up that, represent a virus. It was my cousin all along. Yeah. Oh man. The virus has begun strange and changing. Where's these thoughts to save the Five from the world line? Surely such a thing can't be possible. We're talking about the same trick that allowed the Dandelions to transfer to other world lines after the Keyblade War. But these children are no masters. They haven't the means unless, of course, a certain Lady of Magic summoned me from the future. Knows more than I do. Summoned here from the future. Is he talking about Maleficent? This might be Lucio. Yes, it is Lucio. And maybe Lucio was the one who met Maleficent, and Maleficent, or maybe it's a conversation between Ava. Maybe each leader, maybe Ava taught him how to do such a thing, if ever a thing of wives, not knowing it would be against the Masters. The whole Union Leader thing was supposed to be by the books. Are these new events just another phase in the Master's grand plan? Yeah. The Master has a plan. Which is probably not good. Expert 2. Even on a worldline with no Keyblade War, peace is but a dream. In the absence of us and our masters, a darkness arrived. One that surely lead the world, a world to yet another demise. Among the chaos, I bequeathed my Keyblade to one of the Union leaders, as the Master instructed. Watched the 5 as they sent to another world line at no small cost, ensuring the line of Keyblade wheels would live on. And now Keybladeless, I must depart this land to fulfill my final task. This means of ceasing my own body aside, sounding my heart in a vessel after vessel, as many as it takes. So he gave him to one of the 5 leaders. I'm guessing he gave him to the traitor. Or maybe he didn't give it to the... Maybe it is a traitor. Unless it's Laurium. Unless he gave it to Laurium. Could be very well that he gave it to Laurium. Is there the brain? He gave it to Brain or Laurium at this point. Scald, Nephimera, and Ventus all summon the Keyblades in the thing, unless it's after the fact. But I will kill gazing upon each passing era, one onto the next. In time, it will be years or decades, centuries or millennia. I will meet the 5 once more. Somewhere in this cynical history of bequeathings, a chosen will appear and reenact the Keyblade War. Then the scapegoat arrives and takes my Keyblade in hand. The scapegoat arrives and takes my Keyblade in hand. That will be the time to take the stage and finish my work. The Lost Masters will awaken. Lushu. Yeah. Ending of the book. Light will be expired and darkness prevails. Was probably the failure of Sora until he actually went about, used time, and used his power awakening to literally take out this thing holding them back, the Heartless. She ended up having Naminé contact the Lingering Will to change the events. Yeah, that's kind of the final report. It seems very likely that Nephimera's in Sora's heart. Skulls is heading away. Probably still alive at this point, we don't know. She's probably grown up. Or in the same thing with Ventus. Ventus has his Tears again, and with Aqua and Vandal along with departure. It's only a matter of time before he gains his memories. Laurium is now recompleted. And probably back where he originally probably got slain. Brain is a mystery, and odds are he is the traitor. The final one. It seems his body and name will be my last that lives. I have lived over the ages to fulfill. Over the ages could fill volumes, but for now I must focus on what matters most. the Keyblade had been successfully passed down, generation to generation. It seems a Keyblade master devoid of darkness may finally arise. Until now, I have watched over the course of the events from a distance. Perhaps it's time to come to intervene. I only need to play the role of a fool delirious of the Keyblade's power. Yes, so that thing that he was talking to, it was a deliberate meeting of when Xehanort met Braig and talked to him in the thing. He probably posed as a mercenary and pretended like he didn't know anything and made Xehanort and tricked Xehanort into thinking thinking that Xehanort was the one who influenced him, and really he was filling his role and intervening so that it would come to pass. I will don the mask of his ally in order to keep watch over my Keyblade from close by. Yep. The gazing eye. The eye forged from the eye of the master of the masters. He passed it to me, as I have to others. And through it, he can see the future, all that will ever come to pass, spanning the ages in a body after body. It's probably used as a way to control the other foretellers and thinking like, oh, he's obviously this knows everything and huge powerful being, and he raised us, so he obviously knows what the best way to go about it. When that's not true. He's just a very powerful individual. In body after body, life after life. My task has been to keep a vigil eye over the eye as it passes from hand to hand. It has been a long time, longer than I can express. But now at last, the Keyblade War has begun, and Kingdom Hearts will open a true complete Kingdom Hearts, born of the gods between light and darkness. I will soon be reunited with my own acquaintances, and in that moment a long veil will reach its end, and he will return. I'm guessing that's what's in a box, another world line, another dimension on which to bring the Masters into safety. And in the secret movie, he's where Sora is. So maybe Sora going there, or Master deliberately went to that timeline, because same thing that happened, thing he faded, dimmed, and faded away. Maybe the Master deliberately did that to counteract Sora that would appear in there. Maybe something that Sora will be there, or maybe he's gonna try to influence Sora to join his side, while Riku was going in for the third heart to get Sora back, to help them retrieve the third heart, the other Master of the Masters, which might be either from Ventus's request of him probably regaining his memory, Ventus's memory, at the end of, or probably by Lariam, who probably contacted again Sid. Orion senses something that's in danger, that they need Sora to come. But either way, the Master of Masters is in the same vicinity as Sora, and Yuzola is in the same vicinity as Riku. Maybe in the new dimension, Yuzola will be a prominent character. Is actually will end up being a character in the thing, and may end up being connected to maybe a language, the language of a ancient family timeline of the thing, or he could be, either way, Yuzola is probably connected to the original Masters in some way, or at least the Masters of Masters. God damn my controller. But I'm just guessing at it, not to make any other things. Be sure it's a portal inside of it, or some kind of gate that when they open it up, they'll probably be able to cross through world lines, or the realm of darkness. Sandan Sakya. Was misusing the power awakening, and he would pay a high price for it. Which then explains to when Lushu told Sora, maybe, who knows, maybe the price that you gotta do, the price that you pay, is, the reward that you pay is just around the corner. I'm pretty sure the Master might have some plans for Sora. As for Larcenius and claims she never truly been in Master Xehanort's corner, but was sticking by someone else, which was Marluxia. And he ended up triggering us into who he once was, which means Larium, Marluxia, has all his memories and knows why he's there, why he traveled, and all the events that's going to be in Union Cross. Either way, that's all the things I have. That's all the things. The next one's gonna be critical mode. The let's play of critical mode. Probably live until I let me see if here. Until I get it all done. Anyone who's watching this, if you would like to give your thoughts on the theory that I said, of any speculation, I think I did a pretty good job explaining my thing, even though I feel I haven't really explained it all. But it seems all good. Seems I got the majority one that I want to do. Either way, this is gonna end the video, so I guess anyone watching this, I'll see you guys later. Be sure to subscribe or hit the bell icon so you're notified to anything about the others that I do decide to do a live stream about. I might not live stream for a bit, maybe tomorrow. I might just leave this video up right now, or I might be live streaming during this video, whichever the case. I am debating whether or not to edit the stuff on Proud Mode, since I did that as a test to make sure nothing's faulty or anything, for when I do a critical mode playthrough of it. Either way, see you later, and hope you have a great day.